How to use the long and short satin stitch to fill in a wire slip with Stumpwork. So as you can see, this white thread is filling in this entire petal here. And this is a little different than your traditional long and short satin stitch. It's more like thread painting because we don't totally follow the lines. So we have our wire slip, and I kind of like to start on one side, work my way around the outer edge, and then kind of fill in towards the center there. So when we do this, we're going to start towards the bottom, and we're going to make diagonal stitches that go kind of the way my needle is pointing from the inside of our fabric to that buttonhole loop around our wire there. So our stitches are going into that buttonhole loop. So there's one, and then I'll come up right next to that stitch I made on the inside. And again, go up a little ways along that diagonal here. I want to work my way up the side of my wire slip shape here, keeping my stitches as close together as possible so that way I don't have any gaps here. But all of my first row of stitches that goes along this outer edge here is going from the inside of my fabric around that wire into the loop of my buttonhole. I'm trying to keep my stitches about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. I don't really like to do anything longer, just because we want our stitches really flush and they're not going to pop away from the fabric here. Alright, now that I've kind of gone around this edge here and I'm coming up to the top, my stitches are going to be more of that traditional vertical stitch as they blend into this outer row here. I'm still varying the length when I come up, but I'm going back down wherever that outer edge of my buttonhole is here inside that loop space. And if you have a gap or anything in between your stitches, just go back and add another one in there. That's totally okay. Our stitches can overlap. I'll just rotate my hoop a little bit here to make it a smidge easier for me to hold and stitch this. But the reason we go from the inside to that outer loop of our buttonhole is because if we went right up to the inside of our buttonhole, like in the shape, right up to the inside of the wire in our shape, right here, instead of going around, we'd have a little bit of a ridge there. And it would look like your inside of your shape wasn't really connected to the outside of the shape. So we want this to look like it flows evenly from that outer edge, oh, got a little knot, to the inside. There we go, pulled that knot out. Just keep going around here, filling in this first row. Got a little gap, so I'll go back and add another stitch in there. There we go. And sometimes these stitches might naturally overlap as you're working to fill in your shape and get it out to that ridge of your buttonhole there. Like you can see this curve I'm doing here, so my stitches on the inside might overlap more than my stitches as they go out towards this curve. And that's okay. We want a solid fill of color. But as you can see, this filling in with our long and short satin stitch is more about following the shape of our piece and less about keeping all the stitches going in the same direction. When I teach the satin stitch, I'm always like, your stitches should go in the same direction within that shape. But when you do the long and short satin stitch to fill in our wire slip here, it's more important that your stitches follow the direction of your shape here. All right, I'm starting to get kind of to this side of my shape over here, and just like we did on the other side, our stitches are going to be more at a diagonal angle, like so, to kind of get out to that buttonhole edge and follow our shape here. Just keep working my way down the side of my flower petal. Almost done with this first row here. Sometimes it gets hard to bring your needle up and when you get down towards the bottom where the wires connect. All right, so we've gone all the way around our first row. Now we're basically going to do like another arc inside here. Kind of think like a rainbow. So I'll start on that same side I started on again, and these stitches will blend into that first row that I just did. So I want to just bring my needle down in some of those stitches there, kind of splitting them a little bit as I go down. And I like to come up away from the stitches and then go down into the stitches that I am connecting my row to. I find that this gives you a little more control with how your stitches lay, but that's my personal preference. And then this is a great time if you see any gaps from that first row, just to kind of go back and fill those in here. We're going to work our way around this inside row here. Just bringing our needle down into the stitches of that row we previously made. And it's just a little bit of an overlap, not anything too far, but the reason we do that is because then our stitches blend together better. If we went down in the hole where that last stitch came up, we'd see a little indent, kind of how the back stitch connects, and we don't want that. We want nice fluid movement of color that all blends together. And using the long and short satin stitch is also a really great way if you want to do like an ombre effect or blend different colors together. You can really play around with the colors. All right, I'm getting almost done with my thread here, so I will need to knot it off and grab some more. So bring my thread to the back, and I'm just going to run my needle underneath some stitches in one direction, pull that through so the thread is nice and flush. Then I'll kind of hop over a couple stitches and go back the opposite way, like so. Pull my thread on through, and we'll cut away that excess thread here. So cut that nice and flush. And let me grab some more thread here. And I'm using 2 strands of thread. so it's nice and fine and lays pretty flush with my fabric. Here we go. Grab my thread and my needle. Get that re-threaded here. Oh. All right, to restart again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just run my needle underneath a few nearby stitches, tug that tail end kind of nice underneath there, and then go back under a few more, like so. So my tail is like tucked under those stitches, and I can just keep on stitching. So back where I was, come on up, go into those threads again. Oh, and of course, got a knot. There we go. All right, now we'll just keep going around our design. I'm just trying to follow the angle of my previous row here to know where to bring my needle back down into those stitches, kind of line up where I'm coming up as well too. A little bit more of like a painterly approach to stitching than like a traditional direction or anything like that. But we'll just keep working our way around our shape, finishing up this second arc that I like to call it, if we're thinking this, oopsies, thinking of this as a rainbow here. I felt a little resistance, so I wanted to make sure I didn't have a knot back there. Okay, we finished that second row. We're getting more filled in. Now I'm going to do a third row that's going to fill in the rest of this here. So just come up at that bottom again, and we'll keep on going. Continuing to angle the stitches along the side. And straighten them out a little more as we get towards the center here. And as you can see, I'm kind of holding my wires down with my thumb just to try not to accidentally catch them as I stitch here. Done. Just gotta continue to fill here. And kind of after I filled in most of that bottom, like middle row section, I'm just going to go back and add a few stitches to catch anything that I might have missed in the coverage here. maybe one right here too, I think. Because we want our stitches to be really flush and covered. And there we go. That's how to use the long and short satin stitch to fill in your wire slip. And this is the long and short satin stitch as thread painting.